Before we continue, I just want to say rest in peace to Ed and Lorraine Warren. Both of them shall be missed, but never forgotten. Welcome back, everybody, to another Tea and Spooks. Since we're getting close to the spooky season, I thought what better way to celebrate it than with a scary story. Now, if you saw the thumbnail and read the title of the video, oh yeah, we're talking about The Conjuring. Now, if you live under a rock like Patrick from SpongeBob, The Conjuring is a massively popular film franchise spanning 3 main films and a bunch of sequels. However, the one we're talking about now is The Conjuring 1, the film that started it all. But first, before I crack open this Pandora's box that is a story, please like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell so you are notified when I upload a new video. Now, with that being said, let's get into the story. Ed Warren was a World War II veteran and a former police officer who became a self-professed demonologist after studying the subject on his own. His wife, Lorraine, claimed to be a clairvoyant medium who was capable of communicating with the demons that Ed discovered. In 1952, Ed and Lorraine founded the New England Society for Psychic Research, the oldest ghost hunting group in New England. They quickly gained notoriety as respected paranormal investigations after their initial investigation of the Amityville hauntings. And now, the tea for tea and Spooks. Back to the Spooks. Their 2 most famous cases, however, were heavily popularized by the Conjuring franchise, a series of movies that focuses on Ed and Lorraine's experiences exorcising demons from 2 possessed families. Though the movies seemed over dramatized and impossible to believe, the Warrens maintained that all of the events depicted actually transpired. Though Ed died in 2006, Lorraine was a consultant on the film and claims that she didn't let the directors take any more dramatic license than was necessary. Now that you know the backstory of Ed and Lorraine, we can finally start on the true story of The Conjuring and the Perron family. Mind you, this is only what happened in the first film. If you want me to cover the Enfield Poltergeist, which got adapted into The Conjuring 2, please let me know. Now, let's get into the rest of the story. The story of The Conjuring begins with the first film, which focuses on the Perron family. In 1971, the Perron family moved into a 14-room farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island, where Carolyn, Roger, and their 5 daughters began to notice strange things happening immediately after they moved in. It started small. Carolyn would notice that the broom went missing, or seemed to move from place to place on its own. She would hear the sound of something scraping against the kettle in the kitchen, when no one was in there. She'd find small piles of dirt in the center of the newly, newly cleaned kitchen floor, which, if you ask me, that's just rude. Go- Ghost or no? The girls began to notice spirits around the house, though for the most part they were harmless. There were a few, however, that were angry. Carolyn allegedly researched the house of the home and discovered it had been in the same family for 8 generations, and that many of them have died under mysterious or horrible circumstances. Several of the children had drowned in a nearby creek. One was murdered, and a few of them hanged themselves in the attic. The spirit that was depicted in the film, Bathsheba, was the worst of them all. However, the spirit was whoever the spirit was, she perceived herself to be the mistress of the house. She resented the competition my mother posed for that position, said Andrea Perrin, the oldest of the 5 girls. It turns out there was actually a real person named Bathsheba Sherman who lived on the parents' property in the mid 1800s. She was rumored to have been a Satanist, and there was evidence that she had been involved in the death of a neighbor's child. Though no trial ever took place, she was buried in a nearby Baptist cemetery in a downtown Harrisville. The parents believed that it was Bathsheba's spirit that was tormenting them. According to Andrea, the family experienced other spirits as well that smelled like rotting flesh, would come would cause beds to rise off the floor. She claimed her father would enter the basement and feel a cold, stinking presence behind him. They often stayed away from the dirt floored cellar, but the heating equipment would often fail mysteriously, causing Roger to venture down. Over the 10 years that the family lived in the house, the Warrens made multiple trips to investigate. At one point, Lorraine conducted a seance to attempt to contact spirits that were possessing the family. During the seance, Carolyn Perrin became possessed, speaking in tongues and rising from the ground in her chair. Andrea claimed to have secretly witnessed the seance. I thought I was going to pass out, Andrea said. My mother began to speak a language not of this world in a voice not her own. Her chair levitated and she was thrown across the room. Though the movie version of claims culminates with Anne performing an exorcism rather than a seance, Lorraine insists that she and her husband would never attempt one, as they were performed by Catholic priests. After the seance, Roger kicked the Warrens out, worried about his wife's mental stability. According to Andrea, the family continued to live in the house due to financial instability until they were able to move in 1980, at which point the spirits were silenced and the hauntings ceased. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this installment of Tea and Spooks. There's still much more to this story that I didn't get to. So if you guys would like me to do an updated version on this story, I give even more details. If I left anything out, please let me know. If you want me to cover The Conjuring 2, let me know also. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay healthy, stay healthy, and stay safe.